Welcome back. Boy, it's hot. Hot temperature's going to be here a little while,
right.
But you know what? We can cope with it so much easier than other parts of the country.
And it is so true.
Yeah.
The lack of humidity makes a huge difference, and I think these numbers will surprise you in tonight's forecast focus. Tallahassee, Florida. We have something in common with Tallahassee today. We both had a high temperature, both Spokane and Tallahassee, of 95 degrees today. But there is a huge difference in the dew point. The dew point in Tallahassee, when it was 95, was up at 76 degrees. That is a measure of atmospheric moisture. 30 was the dew point in Spokane. We were at 95 degrees. So the heat index, that is the apparent temperature, what it feels like when you factor in the relative humidity, the dew point. The heat index in Tallahassee, 109 degrees. It feels like 109 in Tallahassee today. In Spokane, that number actually goes down. Our heat index was 89 degrees, a 20-degree difference. Doesn't that blow your mind? The body's ability to perspire and the evaporative cooling effect of that is maximized in our very, very dry air that we are experiencing right now. So we sweat, that evaporates easily into the dry air, that cools us down. In Tallahassee, nothing was evaporating very well into that very muggy air. And so you just sweat and you just keep on sweating, and there's really no relief. Also, when you go through a mister or spray yourself with water, that evaporates and cools you down nicely. We experienced that at Hoop Fest. That is not going to help in Tallahassee with that very muggy air. And it is still quite dry in Spokane. 94 now, our dew point's down a degree, only 29. Our relative humidity, 10%. Barometric pressure is falling with west-southwest winds at 8 miles per hour. Another thing about dry air is that it cools much more efficiently at night, and so they're not going to be dropping down into the 60s and 50s in the panhandle of Florida tonight, where we will do that very easily with a dew point at 34, relative humidity of 12 in Coeur d'Alene, and west winds at 10. Satellite and radar, we have a ridge of high pressure in place. It's going to be with us through the weekend. We're going to stay in the 90s with plenty of sunshine. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Rain today in Tallahassee. That cooled things down a little bit. They're in the 80s now, and that's probably the most I'll ever do on Tallahassee weather in one weather forecast. And our high temperatures across the nation, meanwhile, 90 today in Billings. It was 94 in Boise. Look at Portland. 103 degrees. That is the first time they've been in the triple digits since 2012, and it looks like it'll be 100 there again tomorrow. 106 today in Las Vegas, as well as Phoenix. 104 in Dallas, Fort Worth. A lot of hot weather happening across the country, including in the inland northwest. We have a ridge of high pressure in place. It is going to be a hot weekend. We have some changes coming next week. Cooler weather and the possibility of some thunderstorms as we get into Tuesday night and Wednesday. Overnight lows, meanwhile, will stay in the 60s through the 7-day forecast. Don't enjoy the humidity, personally. No. I like the desert, dry, high desert life.
I would agree 100%.
Yes.